Ahoy mateys, welcome to this DK guide. Within this shorter video, I'm going to show you how to solo blood first on your blood DK fresh out of the DK starting zone. This method is a decent alternative to loving your DK in Wrath pre-patch, giving decent XP, about half a level per run. Each run is around 15 to 30 minutes depending on if you die. I do recommend to get level 60 before starting this grind. There will be timestamps if you want to just skip to certain parts.
Now going into talents, you want to start off on the blood side. You want to put 5 points into Blade Barrier. Whenever you use your blood runes, it decreases the damage you take by 5% for 10 seconds. Pretty useful. Then you want Bladed Armor for the increased attack power based on your armor value. Then you want to put 1 point in Rune Tab. It pretty much heals you for 10% of your maximum health. Costs 1 Blood Rune or Death Rune. Death runes come from this talent here. Whenever you use Death Strike, it will convert your Frost and Unholy runes into Death runes, allowing you to use Heart Strike with those runes. Then you want Dark Conviction, improved Rune Tap, Veteran of the Third War, Bloody Strikes. Bloody Strikes increases the damage of your Blood Strike, Heart Strike, and Blood Boil into Abomination's Might, increases your attack power by 10% and also your total strength by 2%. And then you want to put 3 points into Bloodworms, and then you want to put 3 points into Bloody Vengeance, 2 points into Improved Death Strike. Death Strike does 30% more damage, has 6% more crit, and increases the healing granted by 50%. And then Vampiric Blood. Now we want to go back at the beginning to the tree, and you want to put 1 point into Two-Handed Specialization. This will open up this row. Then you want to get the Big Cheese ability, Heart Strike. Then Will and the Necropolis is really strong as well. Whenever you're below 31% health, reduces the damage you take by 15%. And then Might of Mulgrain, and pretty much increases the critical strike chance bonus, or the critical strike damage of your main abilities by 45%. Then you want to go into Anticipation. You want to skip these two because they're not really needed to solo the dungeon. What level are we? 62. You want to put 1 point into Mark of Blood because this is when you want to start killing that boss, the Maker. This is going to be very useful. It's pretty much like an extra defensive / offensive ability. Your attacks will heal you, and it stacks up to 20 hits. Besides that, after that, you probably want to put your points into Epidemic, Ravenous Dead, and then going on to Glyphs. Your first major glyph should be the Glyph of Death Strike. Based on how many runic power you have, it increases the damage of Death Strike by 25% or up to 25%, and it does not consume runic power. And then you want to get the Glyph of Disease. It pretty much refreshes the dots on your current target whenever you use Pestilence. Very, very convenient. Then you want to get Glyph of Pestilence. Increases the range of Pestilence by 5 yards. And then you want to get the Glyph of Raised Dead. It makes your Raised Dead ability no longer need the Corpse Dust reagent. That reagent is really annoying.
For enchants and runes, I was able to do these runs without any enchants, but if you have the extra gold to throw at these runs, to make things a little easier for you, starting with heavy not hide armor kits. You want to apply these to all pieces possible besides your legs, and then for your legs, you want to use Nether Clipped Leg Armor. This armor kit is very expensive on my server, 200 gold on Faralina, but if you're an oiler, you'll definitely be able to purchase this. And then Rune of Sword Breaking, if you have it unlocked. I was able to do runs without it. And then as for consumables, if you haven't finished the DK starting zone, make sure you stock up on Nov's Special Brew. I had around 15. You'll mostly use these in the early levels just in case you take an all-attack crit from mobs. And then you want Scroll of Cinema, level 5, and Super Healing Potions just in case. And if you have Rune Cloth, make sure to make heavy Rune Cloth bandages in between pulls. Or if you get in a bad situation, you can Chains of Ice, run away, and bandage into another Icy Touch into waiting for your runes to come back. Also, make sure you stock up on a lot of food. You can find food at the innkeepers, or you can teleport to the Arcurus and purchase food from the Abomination. Purchase the highest level food For rotation, it varies from pack to pack. A simple rotation is if you're above level 62 or level 60 with enchants and buffs. A safe rotation being that you're level 60 straight out of a starting zone with minimal enchants. The all-around single target combo is Grip into Icy Touch into Plague Strike, Death Strike into the double Heart Strike. That is a single target combo that you will use both safe and simple. A simple 2-target is Grip into Icy Touch into Plague Strike into Pestilence into Death Strike and into Heart Strike. And now the safe 2-target combo is Grip, Icy Touch into Chains of Ice onto the second target, kiting backwards, Plague Strike on the main target, Heart Strike, refresh Chains of Ice on the second target, because it does melt, into Death Strike into Pestilence. 3 targets is the same as 2 targets, but you have to pay more attention to your health and defenses because you are tanking 2 targets at once.
Alright, now I'm going to go over a little bit of commentary. So for this first spec here, these are called Enforcers. They both have a stun. The stun lasts 2 seconds. It's called Shield Bash. So what you want to do is you want to pull one of them. And then Chains of Ice the other one. Like this. Then we're going to Chains of Ice. Put all your dots on them. I'm going to increase the speed of the video. And then you want to pretty much just zerg them down. Use Death Strike when you can. I couldn't really kite any further because I was getting towards the door. If you have good gear, you can just tank them like this. Or if you're like a higher level, like 62. This character is completely fresh with minimal enchants. All I have is a rune weapon enchant. So what you want to do is you want to grip this guy right here. Apply Icy Touch. Then you want to slow on the guys in the back. Then you want to interrupt his Fireball cast. His Fireball cast does a lot of damage, especially if it crits. Then you just want to kill the imp as fast as possible. I go onto this guy because he already has a Frost Reaver on him from the Chains of Ice. I want to spread my diseases. I could also kite here instead of tanking them like this, but I have my defensives up and I have my ghoul up, so it's not that big of an issue. Don't really worry about using your defensives on this pack. This pack is actually kind of rough. So on these stairs here, there will be one rogue. This rogue, it's pretty easy to kill. He only has AK, something health. But he does put a dot on you, this poison here. And it stacks up to like, I think 5 times. At around 3 stacks, his bleed starts to get really scary. Like it could kill you through your, like that's how hard it hits. Make sure you always want to eat to counter the ticks. I got 4 stacks here, and if you look over here at my health bar, it does more than 4% of my health per tick. It does start at like 12 to 15% if you're at 4 stacks. It's just, the health regen is countering it. There will be 2. Never stand in the middle like this. I don't know why I did this. Never stand in the middle, because there are 2 rogues on this platform here, on the left and on the right. You want to pull both of them before you pull these enforcers, but I got one on me. You never want to tank 2 of these guys at once, because they will stack their bleeds even quicker, or their poison. That's fine. Kill them. And then the enforcers. The summoner here, there's no point in LOSing him. You pretty much just want to grip him. As you can see here, watch what happens when I LOS him. He starts to summon this demon. You want to make sure you're always interrupting his demon cast and his fireballs. Because if his fireballs crit, it'll do a shit ton of damage. Don't worry too much about flame strikes. See, it barely does any damage. Interrupt that cast. Strangulate this cast. So this pack here, this pack is kind of annoying because you want to kill the Legionnaire first. This Legionnaire has a CC ability called Uppercut, and so does this Enforcer. What you want to do is you want to slow this Enforcer with Chains of Ice while you're focusing down this guy, because they will CC chain you and kill you. So when he uppercuts you, he will try to get behind you, and when he's behind you, if he gets an auto attack crit, you will literally get one-shotted. Like his auto attack rates do a solid like 5k. And remember, the enforcers have shield bash, so he'll probably shield bash you into an uppercut, and then they'll get or uppercut into a shield bash, and then just kill you. So that's why you always want to make sure this one is spaced out from you. See, uppercut. See how they got behind me? See what happened to my health? Make sure you're always facing your character with your mouse towards the target. So for this pack is actually kind of rough because you have to tank an adept along with the summoner here. As I said, only worry about the fireballs and the summon demon. And you want to make sure you're constantly refreshing chains of ice on this character back here. You want to kill the summoner as fast as possible. I take a lot of damage here because I'm a dumbass. Don't worry about this pack back here. We're not going to kill this pack. So this pack has a rogue patrolling around it, and there's 2 summoners. It's kind of rough to interrupt 2 casters at once. So we're just going to skip this pack. It's just too hard. These warlocks cast corruption and shadow bolt. You want to interrupt the shadow bolt because the corruption is easy to heal off. And the shadow bolt does crit. And it'll crit for like 5k sometimes. Well, not 5k, like for 3k. A tactician. These tacticians throw bombs at you. Past this, if you're not level 62, do not clear this room. There's no point. You are gonna pretty much just get one shot at by everything. But once you hit level 62, this room is fine. So what you want to do first is you want to kill this tactician here. So what he does is he throws dynamite at you. The dynamite does a significant amount of damage. I'd say it does around 1,000 damage, but it's uninterruptible, and he'll just constantly keep casting it. Like when he gets under 50% health. I should have used my ghoul here. Ghoul would have been perfect. You just want to zerg him down as fast as possible, and also don't do what I'm doing here, standing still. You want to constantly just keep kiting him, keep running in circles while interrupting the warlock shadow bolt. Like this shadow bolt cast here, you want to mind freeze this. Don't worry about him casting corruption. I die here because I didn't interrupt the shadow bolt earlier from this warlock, and I wasn't kiting. Every other pack, apply the knowledge I just gave you before. There is a summoner tactician pack here. If you have questions on which one you should focus the tactician while interrupting the summoner. The legionnaires from earlier. So pretty much you always want to kill the tacticians first in this room. The tacticians do way too much damage for you not to kill them. So for this boss, he only has one real mechanic, and the mechanic is that he'll blow you up into the air. It's not the actual blow up that does a lot of damage. It's him trying to get behind you. He will try to get behind you and auto attack you, and those auto attacks hurt like shit. He's pretty much, besides that, he's a tank and spank. You want to just stay in Frost Presence. I'm going to show you what happens when you leave Frost Presence during this. Then I go into Blood Presence, and look what happens. I have to use all my defensives, and then I have to go back into Frost Presence. And I have to use a potion here. So moral of the story is never leave Frost Presence while fighting this boss. Besides that, he's a tank and spank. Use your normal single target combos. Make sure you're keeping your health up and using Heart Strike. The Necropolis will protect you under 35% health, so don't be too scared to use Heart Strike when you're below 50%. Once you get a Sacrificial Pack, at level 62, you'll get IBF. IBF is really good. It's another defensive. And Anti-Magic Shell, I think, is level 64, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, Anti-Magic Shell is level 7.
Alright, fellas, that's the end of this Blood Furnace guide. So I think this is a really fun way to level your character. We all know Blood DKs were going to be absolutely broken on release, just like they were back in the day. This is the original Blood DK that I fell in love with back in Cataclysm. Sadly, they no longer play like this in retail, but I'm having a lot of fun playing this and Unholy DK. Y'all stay safe out there. It's a tough world, and have a good one.